What is up, everyone? Today we're going to go behind the scenes Cam's eye view with RCR number 2 Xfinity driver Jesse Love. Can you just talk about like the jump going from ARCA full-time to Xfinity full-time? Just talk about what you enjoy the most about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because I've been trying to get my restarts better, and kind of went down a different path of, instead of looking at a bunch of ones that I did wrong and trying to analyze why I was struggling, I kind of just try to get my confidence back. We obviously had a great run at Daytona, but since then I feel like I haven't really been doing a great job from Coda and then Phoenix and all that stuff. So trying to do that by watching obviously some ARCA races and some good Xfinity races from last year, some dirt races that I ran well in, and just trying to get the confidence back. And because of that, I was thinking of that jump from ARCA and everything, and you don't realize how big of a jump is until you go back and you watch those ARCA races, and you're like, man, it's crazy the difference. You're racing against so many good cars in the Xfinity series, and the competition level is so high, and there's so many more, I guess, aspects to it, right? Pit road, balance change, long run, green flag entries, restarts. There's 1,000 different things that you don't really see in ARCA stuff, right? So I was realizing, I won all these ARCA races on speed, right? And race and beat some really good guys because I'm fast and I have a lot of speed, and that's not enough to win at this level. You got to have more than just speed. So now I'm trying to hone in on the racecraft side of things and more of the details, and not so much how can I go fast. I'm focusing more on the racecraft.
Like, what has been the best advice you've ever gotten from someone that you can remember?
Yeah, I've gotten a ton, right? And there's not one that totally trumps everything else. It's not just one thing, right? It's everything. And after I had a really good year in 2023, and I was leaving Venturing Motorsports and basically saying my goodbyes and packing up my stuff, if you will. Billy told me, he was Billy Venturini. He owns Venturing Motorsports, and that was my home for a long time. And Billy told me, he was like, just so you know, like, it wasn't one thing, because I thought it was like, I had this mindset shift in ARCA about a quarter of the way through the year in 23, and after that I went on to win a bunch, and I was saying, oh, it's that mindset shift, it was this, it was that's what got me to be, finally, get over the hump and start winning a lot of races, because for a while it was hard for me to win in ARCA. And Billy was like, the last thing he basically told me before I left, full time for him, was it wasn't just one thing, it was everything that got me to this point, right? And he was like, so don't think that this one thing is what made you really good all of a sudden. Realize that it was every single thing that you learned, everything, all the work you put into it. It was everything. It wasn't just one thing, right? And the long-winded answer, if I were to say like what everything is, but that was a big piece of advice for me, because I realized that the details do matter, and the small things matter. And every day if I go into work and find one little piece of thing on a green flag entry, or one little thing on a road course, whatever it is, that stuff is what adds up.
I've learned many life lessons being a race car driver by myself that I've used to apply to my outside life outside the racetrack. So like for you, can you talk about like any like special like lessons that you learned while being a race car driver that you used in your outside life and outside the racetrack?
Yeah, the best piece of life advice that I've gotten from somebody outside of my dad was from Josh Wise, teaching me how to compartmentalize my mind. And right now how I'm talking to you, I'm in a certain headspace, right? How can I represent myself well, my sponsors well, and give you the answers that you were looking for? When I get into a race car for qualifying, I'm in a different mindset than I was in practice. And I used to think that the only way to be genuine to who I was to be the same person all the time and wear my emotions fully on my sleeve and just be one type of Jesse, right? And once Josh taught me this lesson, that helped me realize like I can be a different person in different environments, and the same thing goes for in the car, right? Green, white, checkered, everything's on the line. At Phoenix, I'm going to be, more aggressive and borderline more dirty than I would be for lap 5 of a restart at Vegas, right? So that applies to inside the car and outside for me.
I'm gonna start here. Talladega Nights or Days of Thunder for you?
Talladega Nights, my favorite show.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
Same for me. I just love the comedy in that movie, man.
Yeah.
And then the high banks of Bristol or the short flat track racing to Martinsville?
Oh God, definitely Bristol. I'm not a flat track guy at all.
And then would you rather have some cake or would you rather have some pie?
A good pie.
And then everyone knows that you're a good race car driver, great race car driver for sure, but do you have any hidden talents like singing or dancing or something like that?
I think I'm a good singer until I'm with somebody else, and then they tell me how terrible I am to quit it. But I can ski. I grew up skiing in California. I can surf. I can play the drums. I can kind of play the saxophone, which is probably my worst talent. I can skateboard. I stopped skateboarding after I broke my collarbone.
Like, what are the expectations for the weekend in terms of like improvement and things like that as well?
Yeah, we were just talking about restarts, right? So that's
Yeah.
one thing that I'm working on right now is get my restarts, the aggression up a little bit, trying to be the guy, like a Justin All guy, or if you will, that goes for Austin Hill. Another good example of something that I've been studying a little bit is going forward on restarts and not focusing so much on defending, but more being on the offensive. And I think if I can, slowly but surely get better at those, by the end of the year we'll be in a good spot for the restart side of things. But I try to focus on the performance, right? We can go out and lead, every lap of this deal and break on the white flag or run out of gas or something crazy can happen, right? So you can, finish 30th and still feel really, really proud of yourself, and that's kind of the mindset that I've always had.
Are you not entertained?